Okay, we're good. So, the quantum leap into a timeline where there's nothing missing anymore. There's no shortage here. Balance rules and reigns. Peace rules and reigns. Like, relationships are no longer about they're no longer transactional. And since there's more than enough, it's like people aren't forced to stay together just for logistics, or practical life reasons. Like, there's really a way to reside and exist in freedom. Even the most impossible life situations that are permanent, like right now, somehow. And that's what makes it fucking crazy, amazing, like wild, like miraculous, magical. That's what makes it that, is that there are situations that we cannot imagine how they could ever be redeemed or restored or rectified or balanced, like from our perspective currently. And and it's not self-deprecating to say this. It's literally, even the most wise and resourceful person would look at that situation and be like, yeah, man, like, you're fucking stuck. Like, I don't know what to say to you. It reminds me of people who are stuck together because of children. But that's the only reason, So anyway, in this quantum leap, where Romans 8:28, all things work together for good to those who choose to live according to the moral compass of right and wrong, who choose the honorable, noble path despite what it costs them. They don't just live for themselves, completely disregarding how their actions impact another, So like, those ones are the ones. Well, and quite frankly, we all get to end up choosing our path, and kind of like we all end up creating our reality one way or another, is what I'm trying to say. But the thing is, you reap what you sow. So those of us and those of you who have been sowing good morals, nobility, like sacrifice for your loved ones, or the greater good, just doing the right thing because it's the right thing, that is the thing of morality. And if you have been sowing morality, then the seeds are already planted. Whether you can see them or not doesn't matter, because that's the whole thing about seeds. Once you plant them, you don't see them anymore. So there are probably seeds you've planted that you don't even really remember, or that you wouldn't recognize or give special attention to, because you're like, oh yeah, that's just the right thing to do. Of course I would have done it like that. Or, of course I did. It's just who I am. And because that's who you are, makes you very valuable. So regardless of what your 3D realm looks like right now, things are working out for you. Things are working out for you. And then the most amazing part is that this is where the spirit of life, that thing, that thing that you can feel when music is just right, it's that frequency of perfect alignment. So it's like, like that beautiful sunset or sunrise that captivates. Those moments that kind of like pause you in time because you're like, this is so good right now. Those little moments are glimpses of an infinite goodness that is available to us. Because the infinite spirit, the infinite intelligence is like this magic elixir that just, once it touches the timeline, it causes all things within it to take form, like to restore, to balance, to neutralize, to calm, to fund, if it's needing funding, like, okay, now it's funded. Everything is brought to a peaceful baseline, if that makes sense. Quite frankly, it's ironic how difficult it is to put words to this, which, it's like, why is it so hard to describe this? It just makes me think about how language is used to program and then also hold back revelation. There's a reason that English is being chosen as the language that is used the most, because I believe that it's formulated to hold back revelation. But the spirit, the one that is that the awakener, and also it's that essence of, you can't mistake it. Every single person has experienced the glimpse of that thing, that goodness, and the spirit cannot be stopped by any earthly anything, like not by a language, not by a dictator, not by an entire country, not by an entire system, not by an entire tower. Nothing can control, stop, or manipulate the spirit. What a fantastic story. And by the way, this is, okay, here we go. So here we go. Quantum physics teaches us that there are like infinite timelines that are available. And they're all happening simultaneously. They're all happening at once because this realm that we live, this earth plane, time is a construct involved therein, and therefore, and therefore, all possibilities are happening. Oh man. All possibilities are happening simultaneously. The electrons are just bouncing around in like infinite possibilities until they are observed and assigned a specific mission, which, by the way, they're always being assigned a mission based on our mindset, like based on our thought waves. The waves of our thoughts are telling the creation how to line up. And whether we know it or not. Whether we know it or not. So when we've continued repeating the same thoughts, and it's not just the ones you hear yourself think, but more importantly, it's the ones that you don't hear yourself think anymore because they've taken root in your subconscious mind. Those are the thoughts that need addressing, because you could have inherited some of those thoughts that you don't even know are programmed in there. It was pre-verbal to you, so you imprinted the experience without attaching words, and that shit is coloring your expectations, your perception of self, your perception of possibility, and that shit, if it is limiting you, you have every right to, as anybody else, to uproot that shit out of your subconscious, get rid of it, and and tend to the soil of your being. Plant new seeds with a different story. That's all it is. And it says to prophesy according to your revelation. So it's like you tell the story according to your highest level of what could be in terms of goodness. And that's why a lot of the time I'm like, I don't know how, full circle back to when I was saying there are some things that you think are just, you're stuck and there's no way out. When you don't know the way out, you just start prophesying what you want, what it would feel like to you. Like, I'm just so grateful. And you say always, though, always as it is now, or like then it happened, as in past tense, it's already happened. It is now. I am so grateful that I now reside, experience, live in this reality. I'm so grateful now that I wake up every day in peace. I'm so grateful now that I love how I spend my time. I'm so grateful now that my kids they love how they spend their time. That everyone is operating in balance and everyone's operating in balance and harmony, peace, abundance. Like, there's more than enough. Nobody's fighting over money. Nobody's greedy here. You know? There's just more than enough all the time. Sorry, I'm being moved by the thought of a dear, dear friend of mine who's just like, she's one of those, like, as I'm describing this scene, you know, that friend of mine is the one that comes popping in my mind. And I'm blessed to have more than just one, but there's something specific about, like, you know, like when you really know, like, you are one of my soul family, like you and I are here from some soul, like we have some prior connection where like we knew each other from before here, and we are here together to be soul family. Anyway, some people are blessed. Some people are blessed to be raised amongst soul family, like soulmate people, you know, and some aren't as much. And then also there's a middle ground there where maybe it was soul family, but there was just so much wounding and war-tornness that the soul family could not function as it's designed to. Anyway, So there's infinite possibilities. And if you don't know, and so that's where you just get to start writing your story. Just start writing it. I'm so grateful now that my life is this. I'm so grateful now that I experience complete like love, like real. I hate that. I've gotten to this point where I hate that word. It's been bastardized. It's been fucking sold off like a hoe for fucking Valentine's Day. Like it's been just ransacked. It's been emptied. It's been called to represent so much that's not that. You know what I'm saying? It's like that word. This is when we need the other languages. This is when we need those other languages, because it's making me wonder if I have my notes. I used to take notes on paper, which, you know, there's pros and cons about all that. Anyway, the different kinds of love that are in the Hebrew language actually properly convey the different, what's that word, like roles that love, different kinds of love perform and like take shape of. Okay, Spirit, help me out. I feel like my human vessel's getting tired and I feel like I'm slowing down. But there's a revelation here that needs to be passed, so help me out. So there's infinite possibilities. What we know from physics is that through the collapse of the wave, is that what where they observed the particles lining up. So the point is that all of creation is awaiting for the revelation. Everybody, like the freaking electrons, are waiting for you to find out that you're in charge here of your path and that you're driving your little robot flesh suit vessel, you know, and you're supposed to be like deciding where it's going and being really clear about how reality around you is supposed to line up accordingly. It's called having dominion, we were called to have dominion here. We're here to drive. We're here to freaking illuminate, set things right. We're here to be the conduit of that elixir that sets everything right. That causes things to neutralize, you know, like defiance, submit. And by the way, don't go fucking radical with that shit. I'm talking from the spiritual realm. Like, everything can be handled from the spiritual realm. As, like, what that, you know, it happens there before it takes shape in the 3D. So it's like, is there something going on energetically? Address it in the spirit realm. Address it. And this is a word for myself. I'm like catching the revelation as I speak it. Remember to speak life and to like intercede on behalf of your soul fam, who you know is your soul family. You know what I'm saying? And even if you don't know, you can always release blessing. Request blessing on the behalf of others. There's a person who I met recently, and when we really got close, I was like, I know you. You're you. I literally said, you're you. And it was one of those moments that it was like happening to both of us at the same time. So it was extremely bizarre. And because like I didn't know how to explain it. I still don't really, you know, like this is completely. I've had like little, what I could say is like questions in the past where I'm like, I feel like I recognize you, but it wasn't this strong, like, you're you, like, I know you from a past, like from a different timeline is what I mean. Or like from before here. It's hard to explain because, like I said, I don't know. But the point is, that's one of those, it's like, I don't know exactly what that all is, but I do know that it's important when nudged to release like blessing over that soul fam, because it's like we're on this, we're here for something. I don't know. It doesn't even mean that it's like has to be like forever necessarily. Some people come, some people go, like along the way, and but I don't know how to explain where this is going. The point is release blessings. Maybe I need to say some examples like, you know, I just declare protection over that person's timeline. I speak shalom, peace to their mind, you know, balance, like peace. I rebuke any anxiety, like go away. Any lies, like I rebuke every lie, like off of their life. I pray a blessing of harmony and balance to every interpersonal relationship in their life. That's so funny. I just saw a light flash above my head, like pretty much like on the roof where it would look, ceiling, where a light would be if it were there, but there's no light bulb there. Wow, that was cool. Wow. It's okay. I'm not going to go into that. There's just been so many manifestations lately of my divine soul team. My son saw somebody from our soul tribe today. He said, who is that behind you? and then I was like, who is it? And I didn't want to freak him out. I could tell he was seeing something, so I didn't want to shut him down. So I was like, who was it? And I said, what'd she look like? And he said, she looked like you. And, which, by the way, that always makes me think of like lineage. And then I said, oh, and he said she was in the mirror, or like he saw her in the mirror, and, that she looked smoky. Like, talk about spirit. He said, yeah, she looks smoky. This is my 4-year-old. Anyway. And then for me to see that little flashing light, and then I also had another experience on a different day. When I went to sleep that night, saying, send the tribe and send the real musicians. It was after the weekend of like, no exaggeration, it was like the most intense dark night of the soul that I've ever had, but it was condensed into like a couple days of just like the absence of vitality. It was alarming. My mom was very concerned. I literally could not get myself to get up to like tend to my boys, which is not normal. I just could not bring myself to do anything at all. I was so net negative of hope, of drive, of ambition, of like, I texted my therapist, who's also like my freaking spiritual midwife. I texted her and I was like, whatever that thing is that keeps me going, I don't have it. I don't have it right now. And I'm on a pretty intense healing journey. And then also something else happened related to my root and sacral chakra. So it wasn't just like random. This was very much like the piling up, I guess, of some pretty intense things. I want to make sure I'm mentioning the right chakra. Yes, root and sacral chakra. So anyway, that was a miracle to have that, just to be able to bounce back after one session with her of clearing. It's like, that was a fucking miracle. And when I finally got back up, I went to my mom and I said, "You just saw the dead come back to life." And she said, "I knew it was possible." So that was pretty beautiful. But yo, that was wild. Anyway, I digress. Let me get back on topic here. The quantum leap is ever available to us. It's just a matter of us defining it, defining what we want, defining what it includes, what it involves. And if you don't know exactly how it would look, and that's the whole problem, is you're like, if I could figure it all out, or if I had enough resources, then I'd figure it all out. Just include those concepts in there. I have plenty of time for the things that matter. I have plenty of money for the things that matter, according to the highest divine plan, according to the highest possible timeline. You don't have to even know what that would be, because it's probably exceedingly abundantly far above anything that you could ask, think, dream, or imagine. It's probably that far away from your current conscious realm. But that's the beauty of the elixir of the spirit, is that you can just submit the concepts, and you can just entrust it to life to just roll it out for you and to make it come together for you. And like, it's really the fun part, actually, once you learn to surrender to believing that it's really going to do it the best possible way. It allows you to relax, and which the relaxation is a symptom of trust, and trust is an important part of the currency to actually activate this whole process. So you don't have to know how it's going to happen. That's the whole point. If this entire fucking universe depended on your intelligence, we'd all be screwed. So you should probably just stop relying on solely your intelligence for this thing to happen, right? No offense. I mean it in a nice way. That's what my bonus daughter was. When she was younger, she would say whatever she wanted to say, and then she'd add on the end, in a nice way. Because that means it's okay to say it then, right? And by the way, she's freaking so pure of heart. She never said anything that was even wrong, or inaccurate or inappropriate. She's just, her family is so sweet, and that's why, they're teaching her to be sweet. In case things get misunderstood or misconstrued. Anyway, but I love that girl. She is such an illuminated being, and she is so intuitive, spiritually tapped in, yo. Girl, if you ever hear this, don't you dare question what you know. Don't question yourself to accommodate other people. Don't question what you know spiritually. Sometimes it's hard, though. Trust me, because there's entire systems that are created that are missing the revelation of, divinity. So there's these entire systems of man, and so it's like, well, I have to kind of navigate through this, even though the whole system is And it's not forever, though. Those are just seasons. You learn what you learn while you're in there. You learn language. Like, there's so many different experiences where I'm like, oh, I was learning languages, so that I could come back and share from the perspective of each person that I'm speaking to. And I'll tell you, though, according to the earthly realm, when you're like going from spot to spot to spot, learning languages, having experiences, and they appear to like amount to nothing because you've never stayed in one spot long enough to see the accumulation, it really makes you wonder if you're ever going to experience that accumulation. And this is where the quantum leap comes in full effect, because you can say to your timeline, thank you, Spirit, thank you, Divine Team, that I now reside on the highest timeline according to my divine identity. According to what was written about my life story from outside of time, according to the highest good of the cosmos. Maybe you need to pause that and like write it down. And then it's something you can post, and you can say it every time you see it, and you say it out loud, and you say it out loud, and you say it out loud. Because we're programming the computer system that we live within. And the way we program it is through our thought forms, ultimately. And our thought forms are just what already is in the program right now. And so we have to rewrite the program in order to see different results within the 3D around us. And how you rewrite the program is by being transformed by the renewing of your mind, which means start writing it out, start saying it out loud, look at yourself in the mirror and start saying things, declaring things over yourself, congratulating yourself that your life is now this, like congratulating yourself that you actually escaped poverty. You really did. Like, you were the chain breaker, the cycle breaker of your family. And then that means that all this shit stops with you. That not only like after you die, but like stops with you right now. You get to enjoy the fruit of this manifestation. You get to enjoy the fruit of your choices that to make the shift. To simply believe. Like, what do you have to lose? What do you have to lose? Are you so addicted to the misery that you refuse? You'd rather be miserable than risk believing in something? And if you find yourself like you cannot, then that means healing needs to happen. No problem. There's a solution for that too. Hit me up for the greatest energy healer of all time, Earth Angel Extraordinaire, and I will see if I can hook you up. Because quite frankly, I don't know where, she's one of one in my world. I don't know where there's another one, but I'm sure that there's at least two somewhere out there. I think I'm kind of kidding, but she really is miraculous, and the anointing is like, the anointing means the oil, which means there was some crushing that went through. There was some healing. There was some transformation. It's like a caterpillar to a butterfly. Like, what is it? Little tiny, is it a tadpole to a dragonfly? Like that kind of death and then rebirth and then transformative kind of thing. Anyway, I think I'm going to leave it here. I hope that this message blessed you and brought some sort of revelation. I hope that I fully carried the part of the message that was the important part. Today is 8/28. No matter when you find this, it doesn't matter when it finds you. This is a timeless message. But just marking the significance of the date and what it represents. Romans 8:28. All things work together for good. Everything's working together for you. Everything's working out for you. Things just work out for you now. Things just work out for you now. Yeah, I don't know how it happens each time, but now things just work out for you. You have to choose to lean into that. Things just work out for you. And every time that there's a sliver of proof, even a tiny little thing like, oh, I got that parking spot. Look at that. Things just work out for me. Remember it. Cash it in. Cash it in as a proof, because those little sprinkles turn into the downpour that will refill your vats and give you fresh living water that transforms, transmutes, changes everything. So, despise not small beginnings. Don't judge yourself based on the locust that just came through and ate everything, because that shit happens, but it's not impossible. It's not impossible to overcome. It's not impossible for that can change overnight with the reality of a quantum leap. You don't even have to believe in you don't even have to perceive or believe in a magnitude of love that would do that for you. If that's out of your grasp, don't worry about it. Just because it will come in healing time. But for now, you can just enjoy the science. It's how this joint is set up. It's just how it's set up. It's nothing, there's nothing, you don't have to lean into some sort of dependence on somebody's emotional stability or decision. It's just the laws of the universe, and it's available to every single person equally, regardless of where you come from, regardless of what happened. You can choose to skip to the timeline where you're balanced, you're healed, your life is balanced, your life is healed, your kids are balanced, your kids are healed. So anyway, I pray that to you. And I look forward to hearing about how all things ended up working out for you. Be blessed, be well, be free.